celebrity. So today I'm here with Johnny and Rick, and we will be recapping the Real Housewives of the latest episode. All right. So the episode it just picked right back up. Um, Basically with the still in that sprinter, and we're seeing like the aftermath after the whole Ashley situation. Okay, yeah, after the whole G and Ashley situation. And so they walk into the house and announces to everybody they're going to have dinner at 7:30, which is going to be a crab boil. So everybody can go take a nap or whatever before dinner is ready. All right. So Giselle and Robin, they're back in that room again and they're complaining about, you know, just that room and stuff like that. Karen and Ray, they come down, they're wearing matching hats. Can't say matching outfits, but matching hats. So it's cute. Um, so Wendy motions all of them outside. She says she has everything set up outside for their seafood boil. They go outside. Everybody sits down. I have to admit it was a cute setup, except G. He makes his plate and he goes back inside. And then he kind of says it kind of low to me that he doesn't feel comfortable. He feels uncomfortable. Wendy gives another toast. Wendy loves giving toasts. I don't know what the deal is with her and all these toasts. And so Ashley says she wants to try to have a little moment with Eddie. And she asks Eddie, has he talked to his mom? Eddie says he has, but it was kind of casual or whatever. Um, okay. So what did y'all think about those scenes?
I thought it was too formal for a crab boil.
Yeah.
They were
I felt
too,
like they
it
were
was just,
overdressed. Yeah, for a
yeah.
crab boil. Especially since they didn't have napkins. I could see if maybe they were going to put on napkins so it was going to protect their clothes. But that was my thought too. Like, this is a little fancy for a crab boil and their clothes.
Yeah.
I could get it. They wanted to be vacation, but I wouldn't have dressed up that well for a crab boil.
No, and then it was pretty cold because that's what G had said too. It was cold out there. So then
Hmm.
your seafood's getting cold like super fast. So I just thought it was too much for an event. I think she should have had that. I think she should have had that during the day and then did the boat that night.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been cold on the boat though, like even more cold if it was already cold on land.
On land, yeah, that's true
Yeah.
too.
So I'm thinking. I mean, to me, I agree 100%. It was super overdone, like overdressed. Um, and for a crab boil, I guess maybe she should have had a different type of food. Maybe it would have been like it would have made more sense. And then everybody was overdressed for a crab boil, but it was extremely pretty though. I was like, that was beautiful. If you
Yeah.
took
It
away the
really was.
cold, it was so pretty. I was like, now that's one thing I'll give Wendy. Like, she is good at decorating. She is good
Whoever
at
did that
decorating.
table,
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, you're right. She probably didn't do it, but she made, I mean, I was looking at some of the stuff with her house, and then, I don't know. I feel like if she had a say in it, probably.
hmm
But, um, and then I don't know. At first, I thought Ashley was being messy, but then when they started talking, I was like, okay, maybe not. I just knew she was trying to be
yeah,
messy, though.
I did. Because I'm like, why are you asking him about his mom? Weren't you just talking about her saying that he was cheating on his wife a couple of episodes ago? Now you're acting concerned. Um, so I don't know. But Ashley, she was doing the most of this episode. All right, so we're back over here at the crab boil, okay. And so there ends up being a conversation where with between Ashley and G, right, about things on the bus. G actually ends up apologizing. He tells her he's sorry if how did he say it? Said he was sorry if she felt some type of way, but he for his words. We I guess in G's eyes he felt like he was joking around with her. So he didn't feel like he necessarily said anything wrong. Which I don't know. I'm gonna leave that alone. But then Ashley, um, when she was talking to him, she was like, "Do you have Alzheimer's?" I took it as he was joking around. He was like, "When did we talk on the bus? What are you talking about?" I took it as he was joking around. Not that he couldn't really remember that. But of course, Mia, she steps in and she starts defending G. But what I didn't care for is that Ashley calls herself saying, "So what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's?" I didn't really like that because I'm like, first of all, you insulted her husband, and now you're trying to correct her on how she pronounces a word. Like, sis, you need to go sit down somewhere. You're looking for some screen time. I felt like okay. Um, and then I didn't see who it was, but somebody had said that that Ashley being married to an older man, her saying that was not okay. And I do agree with that because she wouldn't
But
have
Mia
liked that if
said
somebody
that.
said that. Like, okay,
Mia
good.
said it.
I didn't catch who it was. Yeah. And Mia also says to her, is like, "Where's your husband?" And Ashley says, "At home." And Mia's like, "Are you sure?" And so Mia's letting us know she's watched the show before, so she ain't completely oblivious to the women and what they have or have had going on. So what did y'all think of that? Like exchange with G, Mia, and Ashley.
Um, I still stand by the fact that I feel like G was being real immature on the bus. So, um, for him to be like, "I apologize, but I don't take back what I said," I'm with Ashley when I don't apologize. Because that was like a waste of breath to do that and then be like, "But I don't apologize." Basically, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And it's like, so then don't even say nothing about it. That part annoyed me about him. Um, I did not like the correction part either because Alzheimer's, that's one of them words that a lot of people mess up. So it's not like she's dumb for
Yeah,
messing
like
it up.
Sam.
Yeah, like a lot of people mess it up. So
Mm,
um, I feel like that was just an extra jab because Mia jabbed back at her. You know what I mean? And she probably wasn't
mm-hmm.
expecting it. But I don't know. I mean, I know he was joking when he was all like, "Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean? When?" But I probably would have said the same. Like at first, I think she did say, "Do you got amnesia?" Then she like, "What do you got? Alzheimer's?" And I agree, she shouldn't even make those kind of jokes because she got an old husband too, and it's
Yeah.
easy to come back at her and say the same thing because I mean, your dude old too. But I guess because she was getting so defensive, it didn't come off as a joke on her end, which she probably, I mean, I don't know. She probably was just saying, like, why, stop acting like you can't remember. You know what I mean? But the way she said it was insulting just because, I mean, I guess since he's older, it will come off more insulting. But I don't know. That whole thing was kind of, I don't know, it was a bit much because I didn't really understand why G was being so weird. And then at first, I guess he was saying, "I'm kind of sleepy. I'm sleepy." So I guess that was a jab at Ashley, but I didn't even catch that at first. I knew he said he was cold, and then he came back out and was like, "There's other places I could be or things I could be doing, like sleeping." And I didn't realize he was like making a joke at her when he said it. So I guess I see why she got kind of defensive, or I don't know. That whole thing was just crazy. Um, but I understand why Mia got mad and why she jumped. Well, I don't know about jumping in necessarily, but I understand why she got mad because it's true. Like you live in, you know what I'm saying? You got issues in your marriage, so don't try to come for my dude. So,
Right.
so I can see it. I mean, I ain't mad at Mia for what she said. She cut low, but I ain't mad at her. Not
Okay,
to
Yeah,
Johnny.
mention
So what is
she's been messy. So,
huh?
yeah, I'm not mad at her either. I just thought it was kind of just taken out of proportion. I didn't even realize he was making a jab at her either. I mean, we've already seen G fall asleep like 4 or 5 times on the trip.
Yeah.
So when he said he was sleepy, I thought he was
Yeah.
sleepy.
I thought he was just trying to say he was bored.
Yeah, he was tired, and I think he was just kind of over all the bickering and the fighting and everything else, and he was just ready to go. So I think Ashley was just being too sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I understand.
absolutely. Okay.
That would have
So
got on my
then, what, G?
yeah. If I was Ashley, he would have got on my nerves too on the bus. So I
He
understood.
would have gotten on my nerves, but I wouldn't have taken it as far as Ashley did. I didn't think that what he said warranted all of that. Um, all right. So Wendy helps Karen get into a cake so she can jump out of it for Ray. Right. And so Janelle says it was terrible and that Karen should have been naked. Robin rates Wendy as a host a -5. And so they had also asked Wendy what did she rank herself, and she had ranked herself a 10, 3 rows of like 10. Okay, so Giselle tells Ashley she's happy that she made her come. Then they go back to Potomac. All right. So Wendy and Candace, they meet up. Wendy, they end up talking about Mia and G. And Wendy called G Uncle Big Daddy G, which I thought that a little funny. Okay. And so G and Mia discussed the trip. And so we also see where Karen sends out the invites to her vow renewal to everyone. And so she sends them a box and tells them to open it up outside. So when they show Robin getting her box, she's with Ron and she's like, um, can we trust this box? Can we trust what she sent in this box? I just, they just really irritated me because I'm like, first of all, you don't have beef with Karen. Or do you, or have you made up some kind of beef? Because why would Karen send something in the mail to harm you? You sound like an idiot right now. That's just my thoughts on it. I didn't understand why she said it. Like, did you really have nothing else to say that you behave like that? So then they show everybody going outside and they're opening up their boxes. Well, there's butterflies inside, right? And I found it hilarious. Maybe because I feel some type of way about Robin and her boring storyline. Robin opens up hers with Ron, and Ron runs off like he's scared of the butterflies and tries to leave. He basically was leaving Robin behind trying to get into the house, but the door was locked, so he couldn't get in there. I'm like, you're running from butterflies, and then you were going to leave Robin out there with whatever was supposedly attacking you? All right. And then Mia and G, they do a staycation for their anniversary. But Mia's mom calling Mia's phone, which aggravates G. So he gets on the phone with Mia's mom and and is basically kind of telling her not to call or whatever. And then when they get back to their home, G and Mia's mom get into an argument. And G has says want the kids around her. I think he even said that the mom's not welcome back in the house. But I might be wrong with that part. Um, but yeah, so what do we think of those scenes? Y'all have any thoughts on G and Mia's mom getting into it? What about
I think you
Karen's
said a
and
whole lot
fight?
right there. Hold on, go back. Wendy giving herself all tens and them saying she wasn't that great. Um, I would say parts of it could have some tens, but then I would say she's not a 10. It wasn't tens across the board because you had them out in the cold on the last night. It was beautiful, but the wrong temperature for an outdoor setting. So I'm with Johnny on if you're gonna do something and it's cold and it's gonna be outdoors, do it in the daytime, or maybe even get them like heater fan thing or them heater lamps so it can be a little bit warm around the table because you don't know everybody's. And she was like, I got blankets for y'all, but who wants to sit up with a blanket on while you're trying to eat seafood? Like, crab, because that stuff
Yeah,
get nasty.
yeah,
Yeah, and so I feel like that part, I wouldn't give her out. You know what I'm saying? Like for looks and ambiance, you might can get a 10, but the actual event, no, because it was the wrong food and the wrong weather. wrong temperature. Um, Again, you know where I stand on the whole. She didn't have enough rooms, and then they even showed that back room, so they knew that there was a bedroom and a bathroom back there, but there was no way to get in there because it was locked. So I'm assuming if that was some sort of Airbnb, probably, um, then the people probably put their personal stuff back there and it locked, and you can't go back there. So that room wasn't actually available. So, because they were talking about, I don't know if you caught that too. Um, And then, um, as far as what was the next thing? The announcement.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the wedding
butterflies.
invite.
Okay. Wait, before I go on that, Johnny, you want to say anything about that other the rating part? Because I don't want to go too far and then we have to go back again.
See, it was not a 10. I didn't think it was a 10. I think it would have been a 10 had it been it wouldn't have been a 10 because she never really had the food all together. She didn't have enough rooms for everybody. She she wasn't cordial. She was very snappy when it started becoming when it had to deal with certain people. She was super snappy. And so no, I don't think she was a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. She was not a 10 on that. And as far as what was the other thing? Are you finna talk about Mia and the father, right? You're finna talk about G and Mia.
Oh, the butterflies.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you hadn't said anything about Mia and G.
Nah, I was gonna
I'm
give my
trying. We have a lot to cover there.
yeah, yeah, because
Okay,
you
so
gave
what
a
did
lot.
y'all think about the invites with the butterflies? Do we like that or did we not like
No,
that?
I thought that was horrible. Those poor butterflies. I mean, in a box full of dead bugs. That was gross. And one of them, they did have it was dead butterflies in it. So I think with those kind of invitations, you're supposed to do it in fairly quickly. I don't know that they're supposed to be locked up in those boxes for long periods of time. And they are supposed to be able to fly out, but you could have got the fake ones. Those seemed like real bugs.
Yeah,
So
those were.
no, I didn't think those were cool. I do think
Well, I know
I
like,
think because they uh,
oh no, I was just going to say something about the butterflies. Like, I had ordered butterflies for a memorial with my late husband. And when they come, the butterflies are like frozen. They're actually like in dry ice. You take them out so they can start thawing, and then you have to open it up and release them. I think it was like within 12 hours or something like that. As far as I saw, all of the butterflies that I ordered were alive and they flew off. As far as I know, I don't know of any that were dead, so I'm not sure who was handling those butterflies, where they were dying.
in closed boxes like that, or where I would imagine they'd be in nets.
No, they were actually in little packets. They had folded up maybe what was, I don't know, a good size to say, but they were in like the type of paper you'd make like a greeting card out of, and it was folded up, and then they were inside of there. But each one was individually wrapped, and so it fit into a little folded up card thing.
Yeah, but that's not how those were. They were all in that
No,
box.
so yeah, so maybe somebody took them out of that or something. I'm not sure why they were in a. I don't know, because that was a pretty big box to have them in.
Yeah, that just seemed I can't say I'd be thrilled getting a box of dead bugs.
But did
I
we
would
think
not be
one
happy with that.
overreacted when he's screaming and running off? Basically?
Well, we don't know what he saw because remember, like, I don't know if you see something fluttering, I don't, and you don't know what it is. I don't know that I would have ran off too. I would have never thought it was butterflies. I
But
would have
you
been
know
like, is that a
something?
bug in there?
Yeah, now that I think about it, like as they were thawing out, you could hear like the butterfly trying to fly away, like you could hear the wings inside.
Well, you know what?
So
That
I
would
don't know.
explain why some of them were so stiff. If maybe they moved them while they were frozen, thinking that they were doing it right, maybe. I think the
Maybe.
delivery was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry if I see something dead or something floating around in a box. I'll be kind of freaked out too. I did think it was funny how he I mean, like, you're a grown ass man running from bugs like that. I thought that was funny, but I did laugh when the little boy had locked him in,
Yeah. I
locked him
guess the
outside.
funniest part to me was you were so afraid of whatever was in the box, but you left Robin there. You didn't try to
Yeah,
grab her, and that was what I was
he
like, what is
totally
going
left
on
her.
here? Yeah, left
That
her
was
so
funny.
whatever's in the box gets her. I guess.
Yeah, it can have her.
All right,
So
Reese, do you have any thoughts about those invites?
Yeah, I think the intention. I'm with me. Like the intention was good, but the actual what they got and that I wouldn't have been okay with that. Only because something like that I would need to know because I actually got one of those cakes that the you open the box and the fake butterflies come out of it. And when I tell you I screamed and they were fake. So if I accidentally open that in my house, them butterflies can have this place, man. I'm not gonna find them things. I'm scared of bugs. So for me, a real life butterfly is scary as I don't know what. They're pretty from a distance. They're pretty to see through the window. They're pretty to don't I don't want it touching me. I don't want it landed on me. I don't like how it
Mm-hmm.
flies all wild and crazy. And them things was probably scared, so they was even more crazy when they flew. They would have some of them were dead, possibly still frozen. We don't know. Now that you explain that, um, they were not a pretty color. So my first thought would have been moths as well because of the color of them.
right.
Like I don't know. You know, when you think of butterflies, you typically think of like the colorful ones. So I feel like the people
Yeah.
that sent also picked out some ugly ones, I guess, because
Well, I
they all
think I'm yeah, I'm almost wondering because like the ones that I got, they also weren't pretty colors. So I don't know, maybe
got
by
tight.
freezing them, it makes them lose their color or something. Maybe.
Good. Or maybe it's a certain type that you can do that too.
Yeah, maybe it's only a certain type you can do it to because the others may be too delicate or don't
Yeah,
last in the frozen environment or whatever.
Because
yeah,
of
because
that,
that's what made me want to do it because I know releasing the balloons supposedly is not good for the atmosphere. So I was like, oh, let me do these butterflies, and I was expecting to see us release a bunch of colorful butterflies, but they were all brown.
yeah. See, and that's what to me. And then they were little, so it made them look like moths. You know what I mean? Were yours little also?
No,
I mean, at least what it appeared, it looked like they were pretty small. Maybe some of them were bigger,
they
but
may have been small.
yeah. And so to me, it did make it scary. Now I'm hoping that one was joking, half, even if he was a little bit serious, hopefully he was half joking, but joke was on him when the kids locked him out too. Like, so I too found that funny. You want to leave Robin, but then you got locked out too. So
Right.
I got y'all both now. Although that wouldn't be funny because then that would took the both parents out. So that part wouldn't be funny if it was a killer. But just because you did that, jokes on you too. But I don't know. It was that part was funny, and then I mean everybody's reaction was kind of funny, like because everybody was like, "What?" And I see like the way Candace then was opening it with a stick and all outside, and that's how I would have been because I'd have been scared. And she didn't make it any better by being like, "Make sure you open it outside, so you really don't know what's going to come out." But the intent was probably a really cute thing had it been like you said, colorful or maybe bigger to the point where they look like butterflies, or maybe if it's just a couple of them, or if they weren't dead. I don't know. But for me, bugs in the box just wouldn't be my thing. I honestly thought it was gonna be like a dove, but then I was like, how can you fit the bird in that little tiny box?
That little bitty, yeah.
Like, what is it? So in butterfly,
Or I would have preferred like a glitter box or something. That's why you told me to do it outside so I wouldn't mess up the inside of my house.
yeah.
But
Well,
dead bugs like that, nah, I'm good.
but I'm with Johnny on the fact of probably the fake ones would be better though, because them things
Like
literally.
the fake butterflies.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, when they popped out that cake, I would have swore them was real butterflies flying. I'm like, wait, and I was like, I forgot. And then it's crazy because I twirled them back up and then did it again, and I still kind of jumped because they just fly out all crazy. But it's funnier than like being left with some stuck to the box. Like that would have been kind of like I'm like, ew. Now what do I do with this dead bugs in the box?
Okay. So
So,
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop the link. If anybody wants to join us, you have some thoughts about last night's episode, I have the link in the comment section. You can go ahead and click and you can come on if you're interested in doing so. Alrighty. Okay.
Mhm.
And then what about G and Mia's mom?
the mom, that's a whole different. So was that? So that was part of their staycation. She interrupted, or was it when they went up to the thing, the
Mm-mm.
group? Oh,
She
the
interrupted
staycation.
the conversation.
So that, like, I don't understand that because they were saying like she got all like worked up because she couldn't figure out what to feed them, and it's like, why are you getting worked up about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just feed them whatever. And for her to have to come home because she was worried that the mom would leave, I mean, that's sad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe the mom was ready to go, didn't really want to be there anymore because she'd already been there for the weekend, or
Right.
I don't know. Like, it's just that to me was like a weird situation. And I guess like G said, he just stayed quiet. So I feel like minus, he might have said one or two things, but he said he stayed quiet. So I'm like, I guess I'm glad that he did that because you don't want to damage their relationship further. But I don't know. It seems like this is gonna be a hard time with the mom. Like it's not gonna be an easy relationship to build. Cause yeah, cause I'm like, how do you get so stuck that you don't know what to feed them? Like I don't know. I would shoot if I got to that point where I'm like, look, ain't nobody answering. I don't know what to give y'all. What do y'all want? They'd have been like cereal. Cereal it is.
Like at first, I was thinking, like, why don't you know what to feed them? Just feed them what you've been feeding them. Then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. These children are millionaires' kids. Maybe they're very particular about what they eat, but I don't know. But it seems like she would have established that before they even left to go on their vacation. So that was what was confusing me. Like, I don't know, were the kids wanting something special? Does Mia only allow them to have gluten-free food or something? I don't know. I was like, I need to know more. Like, why was your mom so confused about what to feed them? So I don't
Yeah.
know, Johnny, what did you think?
Because again, we always talk about the time frame. So was it their weekend away and then they went right away for celebrating their anniversary? Was it a
Hmm.
week in between and then they asked her to come over again?
No, it
She
was
has
right
a
after the trip.
routine. Yeah,
Yeah, it
she
was
has a
right after the.
routine. 2 hours because she said it was only 2 hours that they were gone.
Yeah,
Um, so
yeah.
the mom has a routine and she has her routine with her other daughter and her other daughter's kids. And who knows the pressure she was feeling for being away too long from them.
Hmm.
Uh, the pressure she was feeling, I don't know, from being in that house. She did say in the first call when they had asked her, she said the older one was a little much for her.
Oh yeah.
So who knows what he did to
Right.
instigate that to flare up that way? It's like you said, just too many unknowns to really understand the mom's point of view. Um, and maybe she felt bad trying to say no, and she just tried to and just couldn't. Who knows? Because it really was confusing how all of a sudden she now comes back to this mom that left her at 8. And she didn't leave. She was there when you got back. Uh, G was trying, I guess he was trying not to be confrontational with her, but then they did start arguing because she was like, we don't do this in front of my kids. And, you know, they were kind of concerned about grandma. So it just, I have no opinion on it because I don't know all of it. It's just so
Mhm.
many things that could have happened that made her be like, you know what, I gotta go. I can't do this. But the fact that she stayed, obviously, until they got back home showed some
Yeah.
type of growth. I don't know. I really, it's just too many unknowns.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely understand that because there is a lot of unknowns to really make a good decision about it. So yeah, so I understand. Okay. So the next scene that we see is Giselle and her girls. And then it looks like they're at a nursery, almost like a Pike's nursery. Pike is what we have here in Georgia. You can go and get plants and stuff. Um, and so she starts talking to them and she asks them how do they feel about her dating. She's and she also says that she's dating casually, right? And so the girls say they're okay with her dating and that they don't want her to die alone. And they also tell her it's hard because she kind of makes mention to them dating, and they say it's kind of hard for them to date when they can't look up to their parents. Um, and so, Giselle was saying that she's dating somebody. They say they didn't see a man. Um, they also say that Giselle should lead by example, and she's like a vampire um, with no emotions, is what they're saying. And they're saying that she's had 50 years of struggle. All right, thoughts, ladies?
That was a hard conversation and an eye opener, I really think, for her. I mean, we already talk about the fact that she's very unemotional, that she doesn't really think about what she says or how she feels or how she cares. And I guess I was kind of confused at the timeline of when her and her husband split or divorced because one of them said, I guess it was the twins, they said they didn't even remember them together because I thought they had been married for a while. Or were they
They,
married for a while and then had kids later on in their marriage?
yeah, they were married for a while and had kids later on in their marriage. But then somebody said that they've been divorced for like 13 years now. And those girls,
Yeah.
they would have been little. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of sad. I had that situation with my kids. They don't really remember what it was like for me and their dad to actually be happy. All they can actually see now is the discord between us. Um, so I thought that was kind of a eye-opening thing for her. And kudos to her. Not I am one of those parents who I don't want my kids seeing everybody I date. I feel like the one who is meant to be in their life is the one I will introduce them to. But all the ones in between, they don't need to know them. And the fact that they're not around her like that and they don't see her dating and bringing home a bunch of different men, I think that's kudos to her. So I understand why it's hard for them to know what it's like for her to be in a relationship because the only person they've seen her with, or two people, right? They saw her with that old guy, the other guy, where she thought she
Sherman.
was going to
They
marry him,
did. And they
Sherman.
really did like Sherman. Now,
Yeah, so
my
they saw her
thing is
with
that,
him.
yeah, because, okay, this is my thing with it though. So they've seen her date men. They've seen her. But just because you've only got one man around your children, if that wasn't the right man to have around your children, you did more harm by bringing the one man around than bringing around five good guys. That's just my thought
Yeah.
process on that. Like she's brought men around. So that's why I was a little bit like, huh, why is she being so secretive? It just kind of reminded me of like back in high school when a girl would be saying, oh, I have a boyfriend. He just don't go to school here. Or I have a boyfriend, but he just lives out of town. It's like, okay.
Because she don't want people all up in her business. Anytime she brings men around, when she, at least in the beginning, when she'd bring men around, everyone always had an opinion or had to let them know that they weren't the only one and blah, 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 blah. So I can
But at the
understand.
same token, she stays in people's business. That's why they treat her like that. She brings that on herself because she
And
always
that's
has
fine.
something.
And that's why she still stays
Yeah,
secretive. And that's why she still stays secretive because she can do it. She can say whatever to other people because they still bring it around her. She doesn't want to bring that around other people. But as far as bringing around more men, decent men, just because of one bad man, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, when you start really looking at how people date and bringing that around your kids constantly, and good men aren't always good men to your children. They might be good to you, but they might
Oh,
not be
absolutely
so
not.
good
I
around your
believe
children.
I believe that, and I believe if a man will mistreat your children in front of you, imagine what he does when you're not around. I'm a big believer
Right.
in that. But my thing is that you need to make sure, even if it's only one man that you bring around, or you bring around 10, you need to bring around 10 good guys, men who are going to be good examples, so that your daughters are not saying, "Well, I don't even know what a good marriage looks like. I don't know what a good relationship looks like," because they haven't seen that from you, and that speaks a lot. Oh, I've only brought two men around, but your children are sitting here saying they don't even know what a good marriage is or what a good relationship looks like, because the two that you brought around garbage.
No,
That's the point.
that's not what they were saying. What they were saying was she is not emotional. She is cold. And in the relationships they've seen her in, she has been cold. So they don't know how to react to men because they see how cold and indifferent she is. There was nothing about them being bad men. It was
See, I
about
didn't
how
take it like
she
I
interacts
took it
with
as
them.
I'm not gonna even say necessarily say bad men, but bad relationships. That's the way that I had took it.
No,
But,
they were totally talking about her disposition and how she is with people, how cold and distant she is.
but if they don't remember their dad, why would they say she was cold with their dad?
No, they said they didn't remember,
Well,
but
they
they
were
were
talking
around
about
them
marriage,
this last time.
but they weren't married the last time they were together.
No, they weren't. No, I'm
But they were
saying
talking
they
about
said
marriage. That's why
the
I'm saying
twins
that.
said they don't remember what it was like for them to be married. Then they had this long distance relationship later. We don't even know how long that was. And that of course didn't work out. And they were really nervous about having them back in their life like that anyway. Because even when you watch those episodes where she was trying to introduce or have them around their father, they weren't comfortable with it.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So I mean,
they basically said they didn't want her with him. They
yeah,
weren't looking forward to
they
that.
they did not.
So
So I don't think it was so much about her being in bad relationships. I think it was more so about because she was saying to them, I don't want you guys to be distant the way y'all think I am. And they were saying, well, we don't know how to be anything else because we don't we don't see how it is to be in a relationship or be affectionate or be loving or have any kind of emotions with the relationship. She seems like she is kind of one of those people who just are like, I'm done. When I'm done, I'm done. And that can come off as cold because you were supposed to love this person. So how are you just able to just be out of their lives? And they probably never seen her cry over these men, or they're just saying she's emotionless.
and Reese, what are your thoughts?
Um, well, now I'm kind of confused because both of y'all had two different views, and that kind of threw me off. So I don't know. But
Just tell us what your view was.
now I'm confused because I'm trying to think back on exactly what happened. Um, I was kind of on the same thing with Johnny as far as her not bringing a bunch of people around. Because I think that's better not to bring a bunch of people. Now, if you had a few serious relationships and they met them, okay. So I don't know what the relationship with the old man was, if he was like a bad dude, but I'm assuming if he was somebody she thought was going to be in their lives, that's the reason she brought him around. And if he turned out to be bad, I mean, you can't, I mean, it is what it is. You don't predict that if you are hoping for something good. I don't know. Um, and then I guess a part of me can understand um, what the kids are saying too, because I went through a phase in my life where I felt like almost everybody I knew, like family wise, but it's just saying everybody was divorced. And I'm like, so what does a long term marriage look like? Because I had never seen a long term marriage. And then, of course, I got married and divorced. So then I really was like, man, marriage is stupid. I don't feel that way anymore because obviously now I'm older and I'm like, okay, I realize it takes a lot of work. And if you're not happy, I'm 100% don't stay in an unhappy marriage because I do think that does more damage to a kid when you stay in an unhappy
Yes,
marriage
an
and they,
unhappy marriage and an unhappy relationship too. I
yeah,
think
I
that
mean,
does more damage to children than for you to walk away.
and then also um, I think that does damage, and then the people who fake a happy marriage, and then when the kids are like 20, 18, 19, 20, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we're divorced now, and it's like, what? Because I saw that destroy like grown people. They were like, wait, what? Y'all were good the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm one of them ones like I don't agree with staying in an unhappy marriage. So if your kids don't see you have a long term marriage, I mean, what can you do about it if it wasn't a good relationship? So it kind of sucks because she got all girls and they're looking at her like, what do we do? But you kind of just, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how you teach it because I never seen a long term relationship when I was growing up either. But do I think they exist? Yes. Have I seen it in other places? Yeah.
Yeah, and I can agree with you on that because I never growing up, I never wanted marriage. I just wanted my kids. And now that I have my kids, I'm sitting here kind of like, do I want marriage or don't I want marriage? Because I really don't know. I've been in another long-term relationship. I've only been in two. So I've only been in two long-term relationships. They both didn't work out. The second one I really thought was it, but there was a lot of issues with the children, and that became an issue. And like you say, when you're just not happy, you're not happy. And that was really hard because I really honestly thought that the next person I'd introduce my kids to would be the last person. And who knows what happens, over time. Don't know. But it's just different, especially when you have kids. And growing up, yeah, my parents were married for almost 40 years, but was it the best relationship? No. My grandparents, both of them, both were married over 50 years. Were they the best relationships? No. So I can't even say I grew up seeing such a loving and healthy environment relationship of marriage. And that's why I didn't really care to want one. I thought now, like my dad's parents, they actually seemed to have a good marriage. But of course, when you start hearing stories and everything else, you start realizing maybe it wasn't as great as they made it seem. But and when we were around, it seemed like it always said if I had a marriage, I'd want it like that one based on what they made it seem like it was. So it's hard, relationships are hard. I know that all of them are a gamble. But in all honesty, I think for sure if it's somebody you want to introduce to your kids or not. To each his own, but I don't think it's healthy for kids to see men in and out your door. Like, I just don't think that's a healthy thing to see, especially if you have girls. And even if you do have boys, if the idea of a man thinking that, oh, well, I saw my mom with 20 men, I had like 19 uncles. Like, that's just not healthy to me. I don't see how
Yeah,
that's
that's
healthy.
definitely not healthy to me. But I've seen it a lot, especially on Facebook. Girls will be like, "Well, I've only had one man around my kids, or I've only had two." But then you were also posting that he was beating you up. You were also posting that he was taking your car. You were also posting that he was cheating on you. So what's the difference in you bring home one man around your kids, and then the next chick who may have brought four or five around, but they were four or five good men? I mean, there's a difference. And I think there also needs to be that. Maybe that doesn't need to be drummed in that, oh, you only brought one kid around, so you're a better mom than the next woman. But every man she brought around was good to her, not only her and her kids. I think you got to look at the whole picture. Like, okay, of these men you brought around, how many were actually good?
Wait, did she say
How
that
many
though?
of those men, huh?
She didn't talk
No, I
about.
didn't say that on the show. They didn't say that on the show. I said on Facebook. I said I see it all the time on Facebook where somebody be like, well, you know what? I only had one man around my kids. Okay, but he used to beat on you.
Mhm.
Or how about the one that was cheating on you all the time on Facebook where we all saw it? Like, is that something to be proud of?
Well, no, I mean, I think
So that's kind of where
no
I'm going with
good,
that. It's
no
just
bad relationship is gonna be something to be proud of. Period. Whether it's 1 or 30.
that
I said,
exactly. So it really doesn't. I'm not condoning bringing 20 men around your kids. That I'm not condoning. But I'm just saying when you bring them around, they need to be good men. If you have a boy, that should be a man that he can look up to and want to be. If you have a girl, he should be the type of man that your daughter would want to marry or want to get once she gets older. If not, then you brought some garbage around your kids. That's
but I think that
that's
when it comes to that though, is that you don't. Sometimes you don't even see that right away. And then let's say you dated
but
for
that's the
six
thing. You don't
months
introduce
to
them
a
to your kids
year.
right away. That's why you
Yeah,
don't introduce them
but
right
let's say
away.
what's right away? Because what if you dated for like 6 months, a year, and then you bring them around your kids, even 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever, bring around your kids, and then this person's a whole different person now. Like you never know until it happens. I think it's just a matter of I don't know. I mean, each his own. Like either you bring them around and they end up being the wrong person and it sucks, or you bring them around they end up being the same wonderful person you thought they were gonna be. But I don't know how many times I could say like just annoying people that I've seen more than one side that I didn't know. You know what I mean? Just in dating, or even just seeing it in other people's relationships, where you get that one that shoot. I would say my most recent ex, like that dude threw me for a crazy loop. Was there red flags that I just ignored or didn't pay attention to? Yeah, there was some red flags, but I was real serious about him. And then I found out a whole bunch of junk that I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now I didn't know it was this bad. I'm like, wait. So, you know what I mean? But I mean, honestly, like initially, the first, I don't know how many months, though, like, he's like the perfect dude. So if I had a kid, I'd have been like, man, this is like everything I've been waiting on. And I would have brought him around and then it'd been like, whoa, you liar. Whoa, you whole bunch of junk.
I mean, that does happen. It does happen because people can flip and change on you in a heartbeat. They really can.
You can
So,
find somebody living double lives, triple, quadruple lives. You like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you don't know what the relationship's going to entail. I'm just not. I don't think anyone you meet off Tinder you should be bringing around to your house all the time. Everyone that she meets or dates, which she has a very wide range of dating that she does. It's nice to know that they don't see that. I think that's responsible of her, especially now that they're older kids. She
Oh,
doesn't bring everyone around
but you
her
know
house
what? She
for
brings
them
a
to
lot of them
see.
on TV, so her children do see it.
Well, yeah, but they didn't meet that person. Is it harm that you met the person or is it harm that you saw it on TV?
I mean, it could be in both. It could work both ways.
I
Because
think
if you're
it's
saying you're
better
not
that
bringing
they
them
see it on
around because
TV.
you don't want them to see that, but at the same token, they know you're dating. They can perceive it as you're out here hoeing.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody calls her anyway. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they see that and they see that she does date. But at the end of the day, they want her to find somebody to be with by all throughout the rest of her life is what they want. But they're telling her she's never going to find that if she stays the way she is, which is why she ended up going to counseling or she's trying to seek counseling to help and seeing how to not be so emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
yeah. Now that I can agree with. If she's like always super emotionally unavailable, and you look at how she is with her friends, she's probably 10 times worse with her dude. Because I just find that you can be even more yourself with your man. So like if you got like she got that mean girl side to her, so I can only imagine how she is with her dude. Like especially if she ain't feeling him. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, she probably evil to them.
she's
Like, if she got,
cutthroat.
you know what I'm saying? She probably say some stuff that'll make a man be like, you know what? you just
I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Yeah, she
gone.
is.
Bye.
She's very
I'm done
cutthroat.
and I ain't never coming back ever. And then when you know what I'm saying, and this puts you in a place where now you're going on numerous dates and you do come off as, you know what I'm saying, out there. And her kids are like, look, you know, we happy that you date, but we want to see you settle down. Like we want to see you happy. We want to know that when we leave the house, you want to be by yourself.
Right.
So that's probably scaring them because they probably see their friends like got, you know, mom either got a long term boyfriend or a husband, and their mom is like still out there dating and she's in her 50s. And not to say nothing's wrong with that, because if you're single, you know, do it, have fun. But she
Yeah.
does need to reevaluate, like, do I want to really sell? You know what I'm saying? Like, or is this even something that she care about? Like, at the end of the day, is she just having fun? Like, she might just like just dating.
She might like just dating and realize, you know what, it's just not for me to be with somebody else.
All right.
What?
So Demille says that's why I'm going to wait until 2 years after the honeymoon before
Uh,
I allow my woman to meet my kids. I mean,
oh,
if that's
goodness.
how you feel, Demille, that's how you feel. I mean,
No.
we all
It's
have our own guidelines,
too
when
late.
we're raising our kids.
It's too late.
It is too late because how that, you know what? I had to remember this one guy I dated for on and off for a while, and he never saw me as a mother. He only saw me as one person, just this person. But he would forget I had children. And not until he helped me build a trampoline or he helped me do something, but he never saw me in what's called mommy mode. And so to be married to somebody for 2 years and never see you as a mom, I would think that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
Then
good
one day
luck
Well,
with
see,
that,
for
Mel.
me, that would be a red flag. Well, I guess it depends on how old his children are. If children are grown, okay, I might could see that because they're grown and they have their own lives and possibly their own families. But if it's children under 18, then I'm gonna be like, okay. Um,
Oh no, I feel
I
some
have
kind
I haven't met your children. Are you really spending time with these children? There's gonna be all kinds of red flags
All
going on
kinds
for
of
me.
questions.
Mhm.
And I'm
of.
sorry, if they're adults and you don't want me to meet them for 2 years, then we got a problem too. How come I
Yeah,
can't meet your adult children?
Well,
yeah.
maybe the adult children live out of state. Maybe, they work a lot. They got their own family thing going on. Maybe I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why for like adult children.
But I would feel some kind of way
I
if
would
you.
still
Um,
feel some type of way. Like I said, I would still feel some type of way, but I think I could understand it more if they're like grown and doing their own thing. You
I just
froze,
don't.
Reese.
I don't know. I would feel some kind of way because I feel like even as an adult, I don't have kids. But if my mom was to be married for 2 years and I ain't know nothing about this dude, I'd be like, what was that about? You know what I'm
I
saying?
would too if my
Because
We've
my
dad
been
was
thing is,
married.
married for 2 years.
why were they not at the wedding?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
Yeah, if my dad got married and I didn't get to meet his wife for 2 years, oh, it would be on and popping.
Okay, says they are 3 and 6. No, there's no reason why it should be 2 years
Where they live.
after we got married. I'm not even talking about the first 2 years we're dating. 2 years after we got married. Oh no, 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 no.
You know what I'm saying? Like I would be angry. I'd be like, hold on, we got kids? What?
No, yeah.
You no, take them back.
Okay, so I guess
We don't talk about
that's a
this.
good question. So Demel, do we know about the kids, or are you gonna pop the kids up 2 years later? Oh yeah, I got these right here. Here you go.
That's some messed up stuff right there.
That is.
You ain't seen your kids for 2 years? Like we in this house together?
Right.
You don't pop it up and you got a freaking 8-year-old and a 5-year-old stepchild. You're like, what the hell
Yeah,
is
they say, hold
this?
on, like, I'm a mom? What? I didn't want to be a mom. I thought we weren't
Yep.
gonna have kids.
But
You
you're a mom,
know?
and now we gotta go to baseball practice.
Like,
Yeah,
no.
girl, I'd be
No.
pissed.
No.
Yeah.
I be acting like G out there at baseball practice, drunk and just crazy. Then
I'd be like,
you
annulments.
drove
You
me
married
to
me under false pretenses.
Denver.
So DeMille says, maybe I want to spend all that time getting to know you. Wrong answer. Hmm. Where are these children
I know
been?
your kids.
Man, and he
I
gonna
mean,
say,
unless you would have to take, I guess you'd have to take business trips to see your kids. And that's what you're telling me you're doing is business trips.
I know, because that's a whole nother argument. I'm like, what about all
Yeah. Why are you gone all the time?
Right.
Whose baby is that I hear on the background?
I know.
Right.
Yeah, ain't no way around that. Like 2 years
Yeah, that
after, and I found out I'm a mom, and I find out the business. This is what the business trips were. So you was lying about the business trips, and it wasn't because you cheating. So now, in my mind, I had created this whole story. Now this is what it is. I'm real mad now.
Yeah. Could you imagine? That is crazy.
Yeah, we done went to counseling. You talked me out of thinking you was cheating, and I like kind of found out. Oh, you, then I'd be like, oh, so you just going to see your
wasn't
kids?
cheating, it was his children.
No, I'm like, and where'd you stay? Because now we got a whole other conversation to have. This is
He
an
don't sound like he's what's that dude on
Sean from Love After Lockup.
yeah, that don't see his 6 kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. So I was like, oh gosh, that's what this sounds like.
Right.
But hopefully Giselle get it together, even though they said it's been 50 years of never getting it together.
Struggle.
So I don't know. Yeah, it might be a lost cause. Like she's stuck in her ways, man.
She's
Just
stuck in her ways.
yeah, they may just have to look to, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, because I've seen other long term marriages through friends, you know what I'm saying? And I know, and I've even heard like them long term marriages are not easy. Like, it took a lot of people a lot of time. Like, it started out great. They had a terrible patch. And then they were good at the end, or when they got older. So, even the long terms ain't always gonna be great. But I don't know. I guess there's no harm in looking at other parents or other examples or friends' parents, like I see my pastors that I have right now and they've been married for like 40 some years and I'm like, that's awesome. 45 years, I think. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I know it
Yeah.
wasn't all great, but it also I see a good side in it too, like of two people who
I mean,
learn to not bump heads because they learn how to,
Coexist.
yeah. I mean, and
yeah,
sometimes you don't have the example, so what you have to do is just create your own example. You know what I'm saying? You get into a relationship or a marriage and you try to build it and you just build off of, what you can do and how you can handle it. And if you need counseling involved to help you, then you
that's what
do
I was gonna
that.
say. That's what I was gonna say, because I mean, we need a lot of people need counseling just to get the past out. So if you need counseling to help you figure out how to build, more power to you on that too. Like I would do it. I probably could eventually have to do it if I get married again. Like I don't know how to be a perfect wife or whatever. I mean, I only had my one marriage to compare it to, so I thought I did good. I'm single, so or
But
divorced.
sometimes you can do good. The problem wasn't necessarily what you were doing. Maybe it was
Yeah.
just, the way you came together or some other events that happened in the
Mhm.
marriage is what happened.
Or it could be that you were just too young.
True.
Sometimes you're just too young to do those kind of things. And as you grow up, you grow apart.
Wait, you young, the man was too young. Because the
Yeah.
men take forever. So us
To
women,
grow.
we find these men close to our age and we're younger, but they're not our age. They're
Yeah.
like still in high school where we're like, hey, how do we be grown ups? And they're like,
Yeah,
I'm still trying to open my locker at school. It's like, dude, no, we're at home, we try to do this, and they still trying to figure out, what I'm saying, stupid stuff. So yeah, I could see that. I
Yeah, it's
definitely
just
was young and he was young, so
yeah, it's just it's all about like Nene said, it's just a matter of just trying to figure it out for yourself, figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And
that
sometimes
reminds me like people say about parenting, like You can look at all the examples, read all the books, but you don't get it right till you do it.
Man, yeah, that's a perfect segue into the whole thing with Wendy and her mom. Good
Oh yeah.
God.
Absolutely. So Wendy, her daughter, and her mom, they have a photo shoot. I like the photo shoot. I like the
It
colors that
was
they did.
cute.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I like
everything
those pajamas
nice.
or whatever that was, those cozy
I think it
knit
was
outfits.
Skims.
Yeah,
But they,
too. She had the robe and everything, the baby.
Yeah, I
mhm,
thought that was cute.
Like, oh.
You
yeah.
said those are Skims?
It's, I think those were Skims that they had on. Uh huh. Because they also make
Uh,
loungewear too.
okay. I might have to order me something like that. Those are
I
nice.
seen
Girl,
some
that
on
shit is like $200.
I seen some
That's why I use Afterpay,
look,
Afterpay, and Klarna.
I don't. If I pay that much for them, I'm gonna be wearing them things every day. They're gonna be like them things.
Girl, I'll be wearing them outside. I'll be wearing them to the school. I'll be wearing.
I feel like you've had them on for a year now, every day. Like you
Yep.
watch them, they got lint balls on them.
Trust me, they will get worn.
Oh, no, I absolutely understand. And so she's doing a photo shoot like with her mom. And then, I'm about to call her Eddie. So then Wendy starts talking to the photographer and she's like, hey, so what did you go to school for or whatever? And he says he went to school for systems engineering, but now he's a photographer. So Wendy thinks, okay, I guess she can kind of segue into she doesn't want to be a doctor anymore. She wants to make her candles. Which, by the way, have y'all heard those candles are $50 a piece?
What?
What?
I said, I guess she thinks she Joe Malone. I guess that's who she thinks she is. Like, I don't even know how she has the audacity to even put that price tag on those candles.
Them
But yeah,
things be the best smell you've ever smelled. Have you seen them in person yet?
I haven't seen them in person. I think you can only get them online right now.
No, so you can't even smell them first? Oh, get out of here with that.
I'd be pissed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look, when they go to Walmart or they're somewhere like that, maybe I'll go get a couple. But right now, at $50 a piece, and I can't even smell it.
Man, I bet you
Good luck
somebody
with it.
put it on
Good luck.
Amazon will throw them reviews up there. And them people be brutally honest.
Yeah, I wish she would put them on Amazon. So yeah, we will know. We will know real quick, real quick how good those candles are. Absolutely. All right. So, like I said, she starts this conversation up with like the photographer, and then she starts talking to her mom, and then she starts trying to tell her mom things that I guess hurt her growing up. And I was totally in agreement with Wendy's mom. Wendy's mom was not there for that conversation right then and there. She was like, I'll go get an Uber. She pulled out her sunglasses. She was ready to go. She wasn't entertaining that conversation in front of mixed company like that, which I can totally understand why she did that because I'm kind of like that. Like, we're not about to put family business out here on this TV, number one, and then two, have this conversation in front of all of these strangers. If you want to talk to me about something I did that hurt you, by all means, we can talk about it. But what we're not going to do is put on a show for people. But
Right.
so, what did you guys think of the scene?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would have been pissed if I was Wendy's mom. I mean, the thing that kills me sometimes about having adult children now, I can't believe I can say that, but it really bogs me what they choose to remember. The one thing that you may not remember, but they don't want to remember everything else. So, what if she was working a ton of times? She worked to put you through school, but you're going to sit here and make her feel bad about it, even though she even said she apologized to you that she had to work so hard or whatever the case may be, but you're going to sit here and call her out on it.
Yeah, and she
Why?
pushed you
Because
to
you
become
can be
a
there for your
doctor.
kids.
She
Because
didn't
it
push you to
almost,
go be a manager at Cato's. She pushed you to be a
exactly,
doctor
she
with
pushed you to
four
be a
degrees.
doctor. So she sacrificed majority of her youth, everything for you to be where you're at. And you're going to sit here and make
Mhm.
her feel bad about it. I was just
Right.
like, wow, that's a big thanks. You always sit here and talk about how grateful you are to your mom and blah, 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 blah. But then when you have the opportunity in front of strangers, you want to embarrass her. That's what we're doing. I was like, really? That's what we do. But I liked her mom, girl. She walked off like I ain't having it. Like I'm not gonna
Yep,
argue
she
with
was
you.
not gonna do it. Yeah,
I ain't
like
finna.
I'm kind of entertaining you and these people.
She walked out that door real fast in a hurry because that was just dead ass wrong.
Yeah,
You can't have it both ways. You either had the mom who supported you and put you through your dreams and got you where you wanted to be, or you had a mom who abandoned you. Which one
yeah,
is it? You can't have both.
right. And I guarantee you, she wouldn't have liked it if her boys did that to her or
Right.
her daughter. Yeah,
Or
she
Right.
her
wouldn't have liked.
daughter. Because
Yeah,
they can
so
easily say, based on what we've seen right now, they're around their dad more than her.
Hmm. That's probably who's gonna hurt her is the daughter.
That's how it always works out.
Yeah. So I feel like I agree with y'all too. Like that wasn't the time and the place. I get how she found the opening. So maybe if she had just left that as food for thought, maybe she was like, "Oh, so you were this, but you followed your dreams. Oh, okay, cool. Finish your shoot, and then you can bring that up later. Like, see, African
yeah, in the
family,
car ride home. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah." But I was like to bring it up at that point, and I was like, especially at a. I was also thinking about the fact that the mom probably because she really didn't agree with the candle thing. Because remember at the other point they showed
Yeah,
him walking, and she was like, "Nope, stay a professor. Keep doing what you're doing." Um, And then even with the candle thing, when she started talking about pursuing dreams, the mom still was kind of like, what? Not really feeling it. But to me, it showed some progress with her actually doing that shoot because she could have been like, no, I want a part of that mess. But it showed progress. So I was like, so to get her there after she was somewhere she probably didn't even really want to be because she wasn't as supportive of it as she.
right.
Or maybe she looking at it as it's a hobby and I'm gonna help you, but the fact that she had her doing something that she didn't agree with, I feel like that was progress and you didn't really need to go throw more fuel on a fire that didn't need to be lit right there. So
Absolutely. So, like I said, I didn't like it. I was happy that the mom walked off and I understood it. So that was my thought process on it. Okay, so let's jump back on Ashley, right? So we see Ashley, she visits a therapist, okay? And she tells her that Michael isn't interested in intimacy with her anymore, right? Um, and she just goes on and she's just kind of rambling, I felt like to me, about, their lack of intimacy. So the therapist asks, does Ashley feel like Michael is being truthful to her when, and he's just not in the mood or whatever? And Ashley's like, well, yeah. Okay. Tell you my thoughts on this thing. Okay. I think I said it before. You got to be careful bringing one, your children, and two, your marriage onto these reality shows. We've already seen it on these shows so many times. And I think Ashley is playing with fire. Okay. You're bringing your husband on here. You're saying your husband is not interested in you. So the viewers and quite possibly the producers might start digging and trying to figure out why is he not interested in you. And you may not like what comes out, what you find out. Like we saw with Lacey from Love After Lockup. See what she found out. So you got to be careful when you're doing all of this. Maybe kind of investigate on your own and try to figure it out. But I don't know about this bringing all of these issues, especially these very personal issues, to TV in this way. So as I say, she did see the therapist, and the therapist, tells her that intimacy is not sorry, not all touches are sexual, and that maybe she needs to start trying to do things that are not, I guess, touches that aren't sexual, and learn how to do that. They need to go on date nights and things of that nature. So Ashley gets a hotel room in a hotel that Michael used to own, and she's trying to have this special night with him, right? So Michael shows up at the room. She has a beer ready for him. It looks like she tossed back quite a few beers before he got there. Um, they eat dinner together. And then, she tries to get into more sexy time with him. She tries to straddle him, which looked awkward to me, the way she was doing it. And then, like, she blindfolds him. But what I found weird was when she gets up to lead him to the bedroom, she's like, "Well, let me take this blindfold off while we head to the bedroom." No, leave the blindfold on. I'm like, whatever. That's what she wanted to do. And so she leads him into the bedroom, and that's what we see. So, what did y'all think about Ashley and Michael?
Well, I would say first going back to that psychiatrist or whatever,
Hmm.
she almost kind of was confusing because it's like to me she was pushing her to think like you think he's cheating on you, and then it seemed almost like when she started being like, you know what, I don't know. Then the psychiatrist was like, no, I don't think he is. And I was like, what was that? Like, did you notice that? I'm like, what is she doing? That's confusing me. I feel like I ain't pay you to like sit here and make me be like, yeah, you're right. I should think about. Oh, I shouldn't think about it. What's the point then? I should have stayed home. Um, and then I thought it was weird that she took him to a hotel that he used to own. Like, unless it was like on good terms, like, hey, he made a bunch of money off of it and he sold it or whatever. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I was
Um,
thinking, is that one of the nicest hotels in town? Maybe is that why you took him there? I didn't understand that either.
and then yeah, like I was like, oh, look at her with her little dress on. Then when she got the food, then went down her shoes, and I'm like, oh wait, what's that? Like,
I
Yeah,
know, right?
that
she
was
had
She
on
just
those.
lost.
better off if
She
she was
had on those
barefoot.
TikTok shoes.
Yeah, she'd have been better off if she was barefoot. Cause I'm like, you just kind of ruined that whole outfit when it went down. Cause I like, first of all, her hair was in a bun. Like, let your hair down. Then you got on this cute dress, and then you got them shoes on. I was like, I wouldn't have been. Granted, he should love her no matter what, but if you trying to be sexy, try to be sexy. Like the dress wasn't the only thing to bring the spice, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
and then when they were sitting at the table and they were eating or whatever, I thought it was cute, she fed him, and then she started drinking the beer, and then like why she chugging the beer like that? This is not sexy. Like
Yeah.
everything about it was getting messed up. And then like you said, the straddle was awkward. You put the blindfold on him, like, you like that? All right, let me take it off so you can see. All right, we'll put it back on. And it's like, well, then why didn't you just put it on him when y'all got to the bedroom? Like, it was so many weird things. Um, I was glad when I saw she came out with the stockings on because that made the outfit look a little, you know, a little more. I don't know. It gave it something more than them shoes did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then he, oh, when he was talking about Juan, what's that about? Like, cause she was saying about talking about how Candace's husband like made the comments, and then she was like, so it was kind of interesting. He said he'd rather have a good relationship, and then he was all like, no, I don't want to. Why would I when I've got one? And then they showed all them clips of one. I'm like, what they try to do? And then
Yeah,
of
I
course,
did. I did forget to mention that part where, yeah, she did tell
like,
him that Michael, I mean that Chris wanted to bury the hatchet. Hmm.
yeah, and he was like, for what? I don't care about nothing else. I got one. I got one, and it was just showing all those clips. And I was like, man, that junk was coming off pretty, you know, and you know how y'all said about him. And so I don't know, the producers was playing into that or what, but I was like, they was wrong for that because it came off, kind of gay, I guess. And
Yeah.
and then they were like, is it a bromance? And I'm like, I know some bromances do come off like that, but I don't know that I feel like Juan feels like that about him. So usually bromances, you both are just inseparable, or just super close. And I'm like, I seen one sided, so I don't know which one sided comes off as. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know that it's one-sided because even Robin had
mhm.
addressed their bromance because she had said
Oh,
they hang out a lot.
oh,
I forgot what episode it was, but Ashley was sitting there and she even said that's how they ended up starting becoming closer. It was because of how much they hung out.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't know that it's just one-sided. I think he's a little creepy with it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that he intends to be, but he is.
Yeah, but
And
he's
Yeah,
then
awkward
he'll be
anyway.
all right.
yeah, I think sometimes I just think some things just don't need to be on camera. I don't think she was comfortable trying to be sexy with him on camera, and he wasn't comfortable, obviously.
Yeah, and what was
Uh,
so weird to me is y'all are this couple that does all this stuff, but y'all were so awkward together. Maybe it was the camera, maybe. But I thought you had old girl hanging from the ceilings and y'all got all these extra people coming into the bedroom. But y'all seem so vanilla during
I
this
think talking
supposed to
is a whole lot different than trying to show it, and that's why it's like totally awkward. And then think about it, all the production crews right there you're trying to be sexy, and the lighting and the microphone and everything hanging around all over.
be.
Was definitely probably just really odd.
Yeah, they probably
Oh, and
should
then
have
there
just
was
did it
something
off
else.
camera.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I don't. I'm sorry if I heard a man complain about his penis being bent or broken or his butt leaking and all the craziness that she's told us about her vagina and her anus.
Mhm.
I couldn't imagine wanting to sleep with it anyway.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't want to sleep with that. So if you're telling
Yeah,
the world that, what do you think she's telling her husband every day?
exactly. So she's
Where do you
probably
think he
turning him
wants to
off.
poke and prod it?
Yeah. Who wants to have sex with you when you're talking about your uterus is drop prolapsed on you? Like
I
who?
have to admit though, when she lifted that leg up, I was like, please don't let nothing fall out.
Oh man,
I was just like, I don't want to see her underwear. Oh my God, please don't.
I was like, please, please don't let. I was like, oh gosh, is something gonna fall out? Is
yeah,
something
you
gonna
think
fall
that
out?
his whole pelvic floor is gonna fall out?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Like that's what a pelvic floor looks like. Okay.
That was crazy because I was like, oh God. She always talks about the pain. I was like, is she finna cry and
Yeah,
say something's
because
hurting?
because when she was on the trip, she was saying that the doctor told her it's fine for her to have sex now, but it may be painful for her. Did y'all catch when she had said that? Actually, I
Yeah.
want to say
And
when they were at the crab bowl, she had said it. I'm like, here she go again, talking about that vagina of hers.
she did. She was sitting there talking about a thing, but that's what I'm saying. If your man is hearing that 24/7, he gonna be like, shoot, I don't want to touch it. I'm not
Right.
touching her because she already told me she don't feel it. I don't want to make it feel like I'm being a perv, so I'm just gonna nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good.
Hmm.
So yeah, I thought that was an unfortunate theme, but the view was pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was.
was a pretty view. But my thought process is y'all live in a penthouse, so y'all see a great view every day.
That's
So,
true.
but I don't know. I don't know.
But maybe
That's,
not of the water.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe not of
Maybe
the water.
because of where it is in the water, it's different.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be the difference there. All right, we got a couple of comments I want to get to. So Jamil says, so if hers is $50, then how much is Karen's with the 3 weeks? 3 weeks, which sounds like a better candle. Karen's does
Parents.
sound like a better camera candle. And I know Karen's was coming like in a gift set, right? So you were getting other items too. So okay, if I spend $50, I'm getting other items. That might be okay. But $50 for one candle that I can't even smell, you can miss me with that. So Demel also says, yeah, I would have told her I'm going to get a loaf of bread out. I have
He said,
not understand.
was he talking about the mom?
Yeah,
Somebody
maybe.
who's leaving.
I would have got told her I'm going to get a loaf of bread, peace out. Yeah, he must be talking about the mom.
Oh, maybe he's talking about Michael. He would have told Ashley that he was about to get a loaf of bread because he really didn't seem interested. So I could see him saying, "Oh, let me go get some milk. I'll be right back."
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. All right. So Jamel, let us know. We're trying to figure out, was he drunk when he said he would go downtown on wine? I think all of them had
Oh,
been drinking because I know they were at a party at Monique's house when it happened. No, I don't think that's when that one happened. I remember they were at a party, so he probably did have a few drinks, but I feel like drunk. Mine speaks a sober tongue.
Yeah,
So
drunk or not, like that ain't never appropriate.
yeah,
That's embarrassing to Ashley.
right. And then to say that, especially if you're supposed to be a straight man,
And then
mm,
and if Juan is a straight man, that might make him uncomfortable.
yeah,
Unless it's one of them things. Sometimes dudes can't say weird stuff to each other, and they just like whatever. I don't know. I've seen it. I've seen it where they say some weird stuff, and it don't bother the other one. So I guess they're like, oh, it ain't serious.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
But that's still to me that'd be embarrassing. If my dude said he want to give head to another dude, I'd be like, but I love real
I'd,
people, man. So,
yeah, I'd pull a Demel. I'm gonna go get a loaf of bread. Peace
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah. And mind you, not only did he do that, he also felt up a couple of producers, or at least a couple of guys have claimed that he grabbed their butts. So
did he
he's
bring?
doing a little, he's doing the most for a man that is straight and is married.
Yeah,
And I mean,
hopefully that
actually,
came
she
out
admits
in
it.
the group
Yeah,
setting.
she swears up and down Michael is not into men at all. But I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know that she would tell it if he was into men, though. Would that be
No,
her husband? She probably wouldn't tell it.
probably not.
Yeah.
Or he really makes her feel like one thing, and just on a down low. A lot of down low men, you wouldn't know it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the truth.
Yeah, but being that he's on a social platform, I think we would
Yeah.
have seen him with a man by now.
Well, the
Mm.
whole thing also is one of the men whose butts he grabbed, he had pressed charges against Michael. So,
But there's a lot of people that they say are gay, and we've never seen them with anybody. But I don't know that I don't think some of them are true.
Right.
I mean,
And
like Chris Tucker.
people, what? I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot over the years.
Mm.
Yeah, they say that a lot about him.
Well, like with R. Kelly, even with all his stuff too. Are we allowed to really be saying that? I don't know. But with all his stuff, like I've heard allegedly they said like, he
He likes guys too.
yeah, young guys too. But the thing is, I know some people are like when you're certain like level of like famous or especially somebody with a certain level of sexual appetite, like regular stuff can get boring and you start even if you might not necessarily be gay or whatever, you still might start experimenting and maybe you find that you like something out of that. Kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know, like probably like Stan.
Stan is on a whole new level. Stan from Life After Lockup is a whole new level.
But you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Like, so you start finding you like it, but maybe you don't like men necessarily, or you might have a secret relationship so that you can continue to do that thing you like, but because in your heart you don't feel like that's you don't want it to be public knowledge. I don't know. But I mean, once you've had all the most beautiful women in the world, like what's left? Men?
Yeah, hang
I have more respect for the ones that go for men versus the ones that be like kids. So hey, I give them more respect, but I just still feel like I don't know how that's. You done been with too many people when you get like that.
Yeah. Oh, too much. Okay, so in the final scene, Giselle, she goes to visit a therapist.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
For me, I felt like this was just me. I felt like almost like Giselle was a therapist and the therapist was talking to her. I was like, take over this session, sir. Like Giselle, and I'm not even necessarily saying that in a bad way. It was like Giselle, I felt like Giselle was the one who she was almost asking the questions and answering them herself. I felt like he wasn't really necessarily engaging a lot, and it seemed like he might be sweet on her.
And that's
You
what I
know,
was thinking.
yeah,
I, oh my
maybe,
god, he has the biggest crush on her.
yeah. So I was like, dude, do your job. But I don't know. What did you guys think of the scene?
I was thinking the same thing, that he had a big crush on her. And one of the things that he said, he was like, she was like, man, I was thinking I wasn't gonna be able to get in with you because you so booked up. And she was like, I wouldn't get in here till like December. And he was like, oh, not for my favorite girl. And it was kind of like, she was like, okay, moving on. And then I was like, one, my first thought was, there go that vampire personality. And then two, I'm like, he do like her, huh? And she just blew him off.
Mm,
That's that unemotional attachment.
yeah, and then you saw how he was like, well, why did you get back together with Jamal? And I'm like, the way you're asking this question, it doesn't seem like the way a therapist would ask that question.
He's trying to see where he can get in. He's like, so
Yeah, I just
no chance of it, right?
yeah. So that's my only thought about it. Absolutely. Okay, so are there any other scenes that you can think of that you wanted to that I may have missed?
Um, no, I don't know if Johnny had anything, but I
Yeah,
had
did
forgot
you
about
have
that one. I think that was it.
anything more to say about Giselle and the therapist?
No. I hope she can therapy herself and try her best to be unemotionally to start learning a little bit of emotion. Although I think it'll be kind of late at 50.
Yeah, she's stuck in them ways.
She's stuck. I don't know that that's something that'll really change.
Yeah, and most people get meaner the older they get, so she doomed.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes your focus does become your kids. And that could be where her focus has just been outside of trying to find someone else. She just is like, you know what? I'm a date and raise my kids. I hope she doesn't put herself in a situation where she ends up allowing her girls to dictate her life, so to speak. But I don't think she will.
No, nobody's
I think
put a strong
whenever
will.
she finds whatever it is she's looking for, then so be it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have anything else to add. I'm good.
All right. Well, that was last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. So they did show clips for next week's episode. Um, any thoughts? Do y'all have any thoughts before I say my thoughts about the previews for next week?
I forgot what they showed.
I think, well, they showed Robin and Juan where he's pushing her to have another kid, and she's like, I don't want what happened to me, 13 years ago, or whatever happened with her last son, I guess, or her first son to happen again if she got pregnant. And he walks out because he's just annoyed with that. Um, they showed, I think they showed Karen, right? With
Oh,
wanting to make sure her marriage was perfect, or her wedding was perfect.
yeah, so like stuff was going
And they,
wrong. She was
yeah,
stairs.
and they also showed Chris and Candace into it.
Oh yeah, they said something about white privilege at its best.
Yeah, that was Candace. She was talking about Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Chris was telling her like, calm down, don't you ever try to see the other side or something. Which
yeah.
she don't. It's just her opinion, and then she just run with it. So he might as well get used to that if he plan on having
Yeah,
a
if
long
he's
marriage
married
with
to
her.
her, yeah, that's what he needs to get used to. All the red flags are slapping you in the face, Chris. I just don't care for how easily she cusses at this man, and she does it in public too.
Yeah.
It's not like they're having a fight in the house and you're doing it. So you're disrespecting him and putting him down in public for what? What are you
Mhm.
getting out of that? You're gonna go home with him if you really want to cuss him out. Why don't you wait till you get to the house? But I don't understand why you would want to belittle your husband like that in public, even if you're mad at him. I don't. I don't know.
Well, I would say, especially since everybody already kind of belittles his job and him being
Mhm.
her husbander, like
Mhm.
don't give more fuel by doing that to him. Because I
Right.
feel like that's just, you just making more comments saying like you don't even respect the man. So how you can get mad if I say something about him?
Right.
And then with the Juan and Robin thing, because I remember now that you said it. So I feel like I think we mentioned it before, like, if you're gonna forgive somebody, you gotta let it go.
Yeah.
I feel like after 13 years, if he hasn't cheated on you again, plus y'all had a second child, why are you worried about that with the third? Just say you don't want another baby. Like, don't get a man all these excuses if you don't want another child. Now, if you're so scared he's gonna cheat, how'd you make it to baby number two? Because obviously some time went by because those two aren't like back to back. Like, there's a little bit of an age difference. So you trusted him enough to last however long. And if y'all been together 13 years, you know what I mean? Like, or 13 years since the cheating, then I don't really get why she's still bringing it up. Now, if there's more recent stuff going on, or if she had evidence that something new happened, or maybe something happened last 6 months, I could understand it. But I feel like 13 years is enough to move on if you accepted him back.
Right.
Yeah,
So
probably
she just,
some doubt in her. Ashley, her and Ashley couldn't get along for quite a few seasons because Ashley used to bring up that Juan had somebody else. And Robin used to be like, well, I don't care. We're not together. Um, but maybe she did, deep down, she did care. Maybe it did hurt her a little bit. And that's coming back up. But as we've said before, and you stated, if you forgive somebody, you have to forgive them and let that go. You can't keep throwing things up in their face that they've done that you supposedly forgave them for. That's not fair. That's not right.
yeah.
So
So I
I
think
understood if he,
initially
him
is,
walking off and or running away and jumping in the car, getting away, because I wouldn't want to stand there and listen to that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he went through it for a long time initially.
Yeah, especially if it's coming out of nowhere, because this isn't the first time he's talked about having their baby, and he wants a girl.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love how they say what they want, like we have control over that, you have control over that.
Yeah.
So how about you do what you need to do to your body to make a girl happen? But
But you know what?
I
These
can't promise
superstars,
that.
yeah, but you know what? But these superstars with their designer babies have probably made these men think that, oh, yeah, we could do what Kim Kardashian and Kanye did, whatever that was, So you can pick what you want. Now, if you do in vitro, you can pick what you want,
Mhm.
Correct. But natural selection don't work
Yeah,
that way.
it doesn't work that way. Yeah,
You
does
better
not
get
work
on
at
them
all.
old Chinese, you know what I'm saying, theories or whatever, and hey, flip upside down and whatever else you got to do to make it have that. You know what I'm saying? Or the Chinese
Yeah,
calendar where a certain day will give you a certain gender, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but
eating
if they're
certain
trying
foods
natural,
also helps too.
Hmm.
Eating
Food,
certain foods helps too.
or to help if you ain't a man that only shoots out, you know what I'm
boys.
saying? Yeah, like that's you. Like Johnny said, that's it's all on the man.
It's all on
Mhm.
you.
He has an ex.
Yeah, don't be putting
You
that pressure on me to give
show
you your
up.
son or to give you your daughter. Hell, I have no control over that. You do.
Right now, he appears to produce boys, so chances are he's got a high high percentage of a chance of producing another boy. It could be a
Another
girl.
boy. Yeah.
It's just not what you normally produce.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what sparks that whole thing. Because she
Yeah.
hasn't brought it up before. So that's why I'm like, why now? So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, because the only time I remember her bringing it up was when they went to therapy that one time.
Yeah.
That's the only time that I remember them bringing it up. So it'll be interesting, like you said, to see
Hmm.
what brought about that conversation. Absolutely. All right. Well, do y'all have any other thoughts about last night's show?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you stayed all the way to the end, you are the MVP of the night. Um, Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button your way out. If you want to leave us a comment with your thoughts about tonight, you can go ahead and leave it down below. Promise you'll get a reply. All righty. And so I guess we'll end it here. Good night, everybody. Until next
Good
time.
night.
Bye. Bye, Demel.
Yeah, bye, Jamel.
Bye, Demel.